Welcome to First Wing, a Fourth Wing podcast.
I'm Brianna, and this is the start of my Iron Flame journey.
And I'm Kendra, an experienced dragon rider, here to help this new second year. Yay, we're here!
New intro.
Yeah.
New book.
This is exciting.
We're back.
We are back. So we do have a baby in the room, so if you do hear little cute sounds or little noises, that's all that is.
Yeah, I should be able to clean up the audio, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay, guys.
We can't even flip to page 1. I have like 2 pages of notes before page 1, chapter 1.
How exciting. Okay, talk.
Okay, so here we got a map, which is not a new map. However, there is a bunch of new places on this map.
Wow, I never even looked at that. This is so exciting.
There is a list I
Tell me.
wrote of new places.
Tell me.
First, we have the Madaro Pass. This is in no specific order, except for the order I noticed it in.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So the Madaro Pass, that was not on the original map. It is right on, like, the cliffs of Tyrrendor, and like, where it kind of starts to touch, Peromiel. So, it's, like, right in that area. So that's interesting. That feels like something that they're going to have to, like, cross with their dragons. It might be hard. I don't know.
Cool.
The word pass is interesting.
Yeah,
and it's
for
like
sure.
by the cliffs. So we'll see. We have the Vale, which we did know where it was. We knew that the Vale existed. We knew where the Vale was, but now it's on the map when it wasn't before.
Yeah.
And after chapters 1 and 2 and the talk about anyways, whatever. And
Yeah.
like it's interesting considering what they talk about in those first chapters.
Yes, I know.
We have the Bay of Malik, who, if we remembering correctly, is the god of death. Mm-hmm. So he has a bay, apparently.
Wow.
It sounds like a very dangerous bay, probably where a lot of people maybe die if it's named after the god of death.
Right?
That's also in between Peromiel and the Barrens.
Yeah.
We have Pavis, which is just a city in Peromiel. Corridon, another one.
Cordon.
Cordon?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, those weren't on the last one?
No,
Oh, fancy.
I know.
Okay.
Samara,
Oh, yeah.
which is actually, it looks like just a post inside Navarre. So
Yeah.
if I had to guess, maybe Xaden ends up getting posted there or goes there or something, because it's just a post that, like, it just was a place that wasn't on
Mentioned
the
before, yeah.
last place at all. We have Stone Water River, which is a river inside of Peromiel that separates the Krovla province from the Braverick province. Mm-hmm. Anka, which is just another Peromiel city. It's right on the Stone Water River.
Okay. Yeah, it's just up. It's just up from where Cliffsbane
Yes.
is. Yeah.
And I was going to say, that's the next place. Zola?
Wait, are you telling me they didn't have
They didn't have...
Cliffsbane on there?
No!
Oh, wow.
It wasn't on that map at all. And
Okay.
I was like, what is this? Why is it in parentheses? Well, we find out.
In
that
the
it's
one of the
this-
first 2 chapters, yeah.
It's this academy for the
Griffin.
Griffin
Flyers.
Flyers. And then the last one is the Dunis River. River.
Oh my gosh, I wonder. That might just be Dunes, but it's got 2
Dunes?
S's, so it must be Dunis. Wow. Okay.
And that is the river that flows between Peromiel and the Barrens.
Good.
So that, like, those rivers were shown on the map, but they just didn't have names before. Now they have names.
And have we heard this word Dune at all? Dune?
Not to my recollection.
Cool.
But I'm sure I don't catch everything.
Yeah, maybe we did, maybe we didn't. Okay.
Okay, so that's the map. So I was so excited. I was like, we're probably going to venture more into Peromiel, or at least have more conversations with people who live there. If we have all of these new cities named,
Right.
all these places they could go to. So yeah, that's the map. I feel like that Tyrrendor has a little bit more, like the cliffs and stuff. That area kind of has more details. In general, it's just a kind of more detailed map. It's
Nice.
just so
It's
pretty. And
fleshed
there's
out
new
more.
dragon, like, pictures around the sides of it and stuff. That same compass with the wave in it and the sun. But yeah,
Right.
it just, yeah, got me excited. Okay, and then the last thing before we get to the first chapter is this thing you mentioned before, which is the exact diagram of how the wings work, and then the sections, and then the squads.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool, but I did highlight and mark exactly where Violet is, because we know this. She's flame section, 2nd squad.
That's right.
So now we have, like, we can see that visually where she is
Yeah.
in.
How exciting. So we have part 1, which means there's more than one part. And then we are in chapter 1.
Yep. So excited.
So here we are. We're going to do that little blurb on the top. In this, the 628th year of our unification, it is hereby recorded that Aricia... Wait, did I say that right?
It sounds right to me, but what do I know?
What do we know? Aricia has been burned by dragon in accordance with the treaty ending the separatist movement. Those who fled survived, and those who did not remain entombed in her ruins. And that is some public notice that was transcribed by Sorella Neilwart.
Yes, and Neilwart is actually the same name that is here about the translation. It says that the following text has been faithfully transcribed from Navarian into the modern language by Jacina Neilwart.
And we met Jacina. She's the scribe friend that does...
Yes, but that means that this Neilwart is probably related to her.
Yeah, and I never noticed that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this is an older one. I mean, this is like, what was it, like 10 years before or whatever it was.
Right, so this would maybe be a mother, or father, or aunt.
That name definitely sounds like it's more of a mother than a father, but hey, you never know.
It's true, but like, you never know.
Okay. Especially with fantasy books. So we start this out with her sitting across from her brother at the table in the kitchen. The first line says, "Revolution tastes oddly ... sweet."
Yeah.
Because she's like eating a honeyed biscuit. Anyways, makes me hungry. Okay. She also mentions she hasn't eaten in 3 days, which she's probably hungry.
Yeah.
He's basically said he's like, we're not going to talk until you eat, kind of like, okay, good, you can eat and then ask me questions. But she's sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, Brennan is alive. She's just watching him thinking this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, which of course it's crazy.
It must seem so crazy.
It's a long time to think your brother's dead and find out he's alive, you know?
Yeah.
And she's just eating and thinking about Brennan and thinking about kind of what's happened and how weird it is that Venin are real and her brother's alive, you know?
Yeah. Just giving like a quick recap in case it's been a few months since you've picked up the book.
Yeah, which I bet it was for people who hadn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, okay, yeah. So she has a quick conversation with Taryn about, you know, her needing to eat and then tries to reach out to Andarna, but doesn't reach her and figures, okay, she's sleeping. She obviously used up all the energy, so she's going to be sleeping more.
Yep.
She doesn't really know much yet about Andarna. Luckily, we do find out in this 2 chapters.
I know.
So she comments to Brennan that it's creepy that he just watches her eat. And he's like, he's like, a few days ago, I was pretty sure I'd never get to watch you do anything.
Yeah, it's like, well, how did she feel when she thought you were dead this whole time?
I know. Gosh. Anyways, and then he's like, happy 21st birthday. I like mended you as my birthday gift.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And that's when we find out that she slept through her 21st birthday. I don't get any kind of idea that in this world on your 21st birthday that there's any kind of like, oh yay, I get to, you know, drink alcohol now.
No, doesn't seem like it.
So
it seems
it's
just like whatever. A boring birthday.
It's just a whatever date. Bodhi comes in at this point and gives him a message saying that someone came from Basgiath, and she's like, oh wow, they have some sort of, you know, way to communicate to someone out there. So obviously there's people there.
Yeah, who are working
with them. Yeah. And then he reads it and says, oh, I have to go to the assembly now. So I was a little confused. Like, what was even after everything they said, I didn't get what the message was. I don't know if it's important or not.
I think it had to do with that thing at Basgiath that they want to use to make weapons, maybe. Because that's kind of what the meeting's about.
No, the meeting's about a thing that's in a different location that they want to use to make weapons. And it's not in Basgiath.
Yeah, but it's about, yes, but they bring up the one at Basgiath in that meeting too.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, they do. So yeah, it could have something to do with that. I'll tell you when we get into the discussion. I'll tell you why I don't think that, because I'm also not entirely sure what it says before I say anything. So,
okay,
but whatever. I feel like it wasn't really answered, but I thought it was interesting that he read it and he's like, I have to go to the assembly now. Like, did the message that came all the way from Basgiath also say, hey, by the way, there's an assembly meeting? It was just
maybe it
weird.
had the time on it.
Maybe, I don't know. It was just weird.
And he was like, oh yeah, that's what time it is.
Anyways, so yeah, he gets this message and she hears this name, Lieutenant Colonel, and I'm going to butcher this last name so hardcore.
It's a lot of vowels.
Isray. Wow. If anybody's listened to audiobooks, including my sister, who wants to tell us how to pronounce his new last name, that's great. So she suddenly is asking him, wait, you're a lieutenant colonel? And he makes this comment. Well, he makes this comment that he has to change his names for obvious reasons. He doesn't want to be connected to his mom right now.
Yeah.
And he says, you'd be amazed at how fast you get promoted when everyone above you continues to die.
Yeah, and I was like, oh boy, like what exactly are they dying doing? Like, are they just fighting Venom?
I was wondering that too.
Are they getting, like, found out as traitors and getting murdered by leadership? I couldn't really figure out what they were dying doing, because it seems like they just sit around and talk.
That's all we get the idea of. But they could be also fighting out there with the Griffin Riders. Griffin Flyers. It's possible.
They do still, like, he has his dragon still.
Yeah. Okay, so interesting, just little side bit here. This, this last name could be pronounced either Ashari or Aisharay.
I hate both of them.
I hate
Pick
both of them.
anything else.
Okay. But it means resurrection
Oh, okay.
in Scottish Gaelic.
Interesting. It's very interesting.
So, because
it's his new name
like
after he died.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Okay, good. So Brendan's like, I'm going to go off now with the assembly to meet with them, but finish your biscuits. I'll meet you in a half an hour and take you to your dragon. And she just like waits like a minute and then goes, screw this. Oh, I realized I can swear. We're doing another podcast where we can't swear, and it's been so hard. I wanted to say, fuck this.
Just comes after him.
And just goes, she's like, I'm not going to wait for my brother anymore. I've freaking waited this whole time. Like, I'm just going. But
yeah,
he goes so fast, she can't find him. So we get this like description as she's like wandering through the halls and whatever of the place, which I don't need to read. But it sounds very beautiful. It's a big fortress, and it's all, we know it's all stone walls and stuff. But they've done it sounds like they've done a lot of stuff to kind of get it up and going. Beautiful big staircases and stuff. And then it was an explanation of how the levels were like laid out, slightly offset from each landing, slightly offset from the one before. I couldn't quite picture how that went, but it sounds interesting.
Maybe like it makes a triangle.
Well, that's what I thought if they were each offset closer and closer, but it says, as though the staircase climbs towards the very mountain this fortress is carved into.
Oh, so it's slightly offset on one side.
On one side, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
But it also talks about the windows and how she thinks if she could step back, she could see a pattern that the windows make, but she's too close to see them. Or that they seem to form a pattern. And I was wondering if they form like a rune symbol.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Like a protection rune. I don't know if that's how runes work. But
or like
if they
don't look at me rune, kind of like over Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see me over here.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool would that be?
That maybe it was a rune. If not, maybe it's just something cool. Like a dragon.
Because dragons are always cool.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like this thought sentence that she thinks. It says, there's no perspective, which pretty much feels like a metaphor for my entire life right now.
Yeah, because she's too emotionally involved in all of this.
Right, yeah, she doesn't know what to think. So yeah, she does eventually pick up some sound, and she can hear Brennan's voice coming. And when she gets to like the hallway, there is a door open. And she sees Bodhi and Imogen sitting in the open doorway.
Yeah. But they're kind of like, they're standing at the open doorway, but they're like kind of hidden from inside the room.
Sounds like it. It's very interesting. When I tried to figure out how this was even possible, that she could see their faces and describe them, yet no one could see them. I just couldn't figure it out. I was like, I think this is slightly impossible, but that's okay. Like, she says their back was to them, but yet she describes the facial features of everybody talking.
Yeah, okay, that's a really good point.
But that's okay. I'm just being nitpicky.
I kind of imagine them being kind of back in the shadows of the hallway. So they can see into the room pretty well, but only if you were looking for someone out there could you see them.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, like the shadows of the hallway. Like there's light coming out of the room maybe, but then there's a shadowy part outside the doorway.
Yeah. Yeah, it mentions that there's a table that could easily accommodate 30 people in the room, right? 5 people sit along one side, and they're perched slightly ahead of the door at an angle where they'd have to turn to see us, which they don't. Fine. Brennan then is pacing in front of the table, but not at an angle where he could spot us either. I'm like, okay. She mentions that Bodhi's got a fractured arm, and there's a split on Imogen's lip, and so it's like signs of the battle they went through, and also that there was enough time for Imogen, and she was comfortable enough to go and dye her hair.
Yeah.
She's like dyed it a brighter pink.
Yeah. It's funny.
So we get introduced to several people in here. We don't really have to go over all of them. But like at first they're just descriptions, and then some of them get names.
Yeah.
There's some guys that seem a little bit more against Violet being here, and some less. So.
Yep.
Also, in case I didn't mention, Xaden's there.
Yep.
He's like standing in front of a map that they have. This map that's like kind of, it's as big as like the one at the Battle Brief lecture hall, right? And it has like, I think, a lot more details about what's really happening, because they are putting the true data there. They're not trying to hide it from any cadets.
Right, so you can actually see where the Venom attacks are.
Yeah, exactly. This first guy, Major Ferris, brings up something about having to state the obvious. Xaden's like, what is that? And then we get this little data from Bodhi where he says, he's whispering to her, this is an assembly meeting. Only a quorum of 5 is required to call a vote, since all 7 are almost never here at one time, and 4 votes carry a motion.
Right. And I was like, this is definitely going to be important more than just today.
Right.
Like, this will come up in the future of this book. Probably this book, maybe the next book, but probably this book.
Okay.
In a very important way. So,
and they have 7 people right now, so all of them are in the room, because he says usually not all 7 are there, but they said 5 people plus Brennan in front plus Xaden by the map.
Yeah. So it's just so interesting. She seems to, in this chapter, be ready to shake things up if it makes sense.
By being sassy?
No, but I mean, kind of. She doesn't care that they don't believe her.
Okay.
And I feel like that's going to also come up again maybe the next time a vote has to happen, where she's like, no, I think we should do this plan.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this is like a prediction of a future voting thing.
I mean, she's obviously going to be such an integral part in this revolution, because she's the main character.
That's how that goes.
And obviously, they're not doing great right now.
Right.
So if she can throw out some ideas that maybe they think are like really out there, but it's like, to us, the reader, it's like, well, obviously you got to try this, and then it's going to be a whole voting nonsense. A whole political, getting people's votes and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, cool. So this guy who she's calling Hawknose is Major Ferris, because Xaden referred to him that way. So I don't know why she's sticking with Hawknose, but okay. He's saying that the obvious is returning is the only option. Like, so that means them returning to Basgiath.
Yeah. And I agreed. I was like, yeah, kind of is the only option.
Well, he says not doing so risks everything we're building here. He says search patrols will come. Okay. And they don't have enough writers, which says something, right? Like,
yeah.
Why do they not have enough writers?
Yeah.
That it's a smaller group than, well, obviously it's a smaller group than the whole Navarre, but
yeah, I mean, they don't have enough, right? They're a secret revolution. Like, it's hard to recruit, probably.
Yeah. So then they start talking about this forge to like arm everybody with weapons, and he says we're still short a luminary, right?
Right. Which is what, a weapon forgery? I don't actually know what a luminary is.
Maybe we take a quick sec.
Okay.
And find out if there is a definition for this.
Is this is this a magical word or a real word? I'm scared to look stuff like that up, because what if it's like a luminary in Fourth Wing is...
It does say that. So the definition of luminary in the dictionary is talking about like a natural light-giving body, such as like the sun or the moon.
Yeah. So
It
that
means
doesn't
light.
make any sense, because they keep on talking about it, how like they can make weapons with it.
Yeah, so I guess you're going to find out. It does explain what a luminary is in Fourth Wing, but if
Yeah,
we have
see-
to have that explained, obviously you're going to find out as we go.
That's why I was worried to look it up.
Yeah,
I
okay.
just didn't know if it was a real word or not.
Yeah, so no, not a real word. Not a real word, but not for this definition.
Yeah, it does not seem like it.
They're talking about Viscount Takaris is the
Right.
one who's they're negotiating with for this luminary.
Yeah.
And she's thinking, well, that isn't a noble family in any Navarian records, which is amazing that she knows this, right?
Yeah.
And also, they don't even have Viscounts in
Yeah.
their aristocracy. So
I
what
was
do
like-
you think?
Well, it just made me think, okay, well, obviously this guy must be from Promiel then.
And they're working on some kind of diplomatic solution. And I love, it's like, okay, so this older woman's like, Takaris isn't over the insult you delivered last summer when she's talking to Xaden. I just love the fact that Xaden's like insulting this Viscount.
Yeah.
Is it a Viscount?
I think it's a Viscount.
Sorry, peeps.
From Bridgerton, I'd have to assume.
Yeah, Bridgerton teaches us a lot. The Viscount is pissing off Xaden somehow. I mean, that's all you get from this, and he's insulting him back. I love it. And then
Very
he's like,
Xaden.
he's saying like, yeah, no, this man only collects things. He's not going to trade them. So he doesn't think that he's going to give them, or I don't know what he thinks here exactly.
He just thinks
but
it doesn't matter that he insulted him basically, because
he
he
wasn't
was
gonna give it
never
to
going to
us.
give it to us anyways.
yeah. And then this girl who seems to be quite a biatch says, well, he's definitely not going to trade with us now, especially if you won't even contemplate his latest offer. And Zayden's like, he can fuck right off with that latest offer.
Yeah.
Very calmly. He's
Which
like,
I don't know
not
what it
gonna
is.
give. Oh,
It's
no.
very interesting.
You will find out.
Yeah, I don't know. I assume, I don't know. I have to assume it has to do with Violet, but I don't know how it would.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or that he goes and works for them. Zayden does. I don't know.
Something.
Couldn't think of like what would be so
Where
terrible.
he would just be like, yeah, screw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She mentions like he steps around and there's like one massive armchair facing them. And I assume it's being facing the people. Anyways, whatever. He settles into it just like acting like he doesn't have a care in the world. He's just like, nope, that's not happening.
Yeah.
She mentions here that she can tell that he commands a lot of respect in this assembly. Like they listen to him, right?
Yeah. Which makes sense as the son of Fen.
Right. And she's thinking that he's obviously probably the most powerful in the room. And then Tarn, of course, because he's Tarn, is like, for now.
Yeah.
As if like obviously you're going to be more powerful, which I
Yeah.
love. And then he's like, whenever the politics are done, tell those humans to bring you up to the valley.
Yeah.
So they're talking about how this weaponry, like they can't supply the Drifts with enough weaponry to really fight in the next year. Or no, if they can't, right? If they can't get enough in this next year, the tide will shift too far to ever hope to hold these Venin at bay. And that's like, so they're saying 1 year.
Right.
This is whoever Silverbeard is, who's I think
he has
later
dark
mentioned.
skin, and he's the nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's saying we really have to do that. We have a year basically. We got to figure something out. And she's like, crap.
Yeah.
How I just found this out a few days ago, and we have a year.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that?
Not going well.
And thinks he has some kind of solution, but he's like, guys, we're off topic. This is not even the same meeting.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then this bitch who she recalls Battle Axe, it says that they vote they just go and take Basgiath's luminary, which is like, hello.
Yeah.
Well, we're just gonna now like,
I guess she is the one that brings it up, not
who?
Brennan. Because I was thinking about like maybe that's what the letter was about.
Oh, I got it.
It was about Basgiath's luminary.
About taking it, maybe.
Yeah.
Any guess is any guess. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But
obviously,
yeah, and that's
that
like,
would
no,
be-
we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because the whole
It would
idea is
expose them so much.
for sure.
You're stealing apparently something very powerful and rare.
Well, and it's making the same things that they're used to power their wards to keep the wards farther out.
Right.
So if you do that, then they can't power, and then we're like exposing now Navarre's citizens to the Venin.
That's true.
So it's like, are we trying to be like Navarre, or are we trying to?
I mean, it would expose the truth, and then they'd have more people on their side.
Right? I mean, totally.
Like, no, we don't want them to die. Of
I know. It
course
just
not.
puts more people at risk
Yeah.
than who are already at risk right now.
But
I
it's
guess.
like technically everyone's at risk right now because they have 1 year to turn this around. I don't know.
Right. I know.
I know that she's like not nice and stuff, but I'm like, I don't know if I disagree with her logic.
Yeah, she's definitely thinking more about the group and less about the individuals.
Yeah.
Which sometimes is needed. Like that non-emotional state
Yeah.
is sometimes good to have.
She's
so.
definitely thinking like, well, the sacrifices of those citizens, while bad, would then
Turn the
turn
tide.
good
Yeah.
in a way because then they'd be forced to accept that this
Yeah.
is what was happening, and then we'd have more fighters and stuff. I don't know.
Interesting. A
It's
lot of
crazy.
fantasy books, or a lot of like books with like end of the world type things or whatever. It's like a leader has to make a choice that could like like you have to like maybe hurt this group to save this larger people, whatever. Those
Yeah.
sort of choices that I always think in my head. I'm like, I could make that choice, but honestly, it's such an emotional choice. I don't
Yeah.
know if I don't know really in a situation like that what type of person it takes to make a choice like that.
Yeah, it's definitely easier when you're just reading about it. You're like,
Yeah.
well, obviously, just make the sacrifice, it'll be fine.
Exactly. I like this little conversation with Tarn where she's thinking about how Xaden might know her brother better than she does, and that she cannot believe out of all the secrets, this is the one that pisses her off the most, which you said was going to be the case. And then Taryn's like, and what would you have done with the knowledge had he shared it? And I love her response.
Yeah.
She says, stop bringing logic into an emotional argument.
I know, and I was like, this is really funny, but like also so frustrating because it's like, okay, so she knows, like
she's
she
a-
knows that the logic behind his choices makes perfect sense, and yet she's so mad about it.
And I give her a hard time about this.
Yeah.
But I do understand that she loved her brother, and the death of her brother also led to the death of her father, or the fake death of her brother, and all that stuff that happened. I do understand there's so much emotion in here that I probably right now can't fully comprehend.
Yeah.
So-
how upset she is.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
to remember that. And then just the shock of everything right now. But yeah. Yeah, so Brennan's saying if we take Basgiath's forging device, they can't restore their stores at the outpost. Civilians will die, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So we talked about that already. We have this other lady, Suri, that Brennan kind of points out, hey, you've been quiet. And she's like, yeah, I think we should send all the cadets back except for 2. 6 cadets can lie as well as 8.
Right.
So... Does she say who the 2 people that have to stay behind is? I mean, obviously Violet was one of them.
It's Violet and Xaden.
And Xaden, okay.
She wants Xaden to stay behind because
He's needed.
too, like, precious to them to be risked, basically.
Yeah, and then Violet because obviously she doesn't want to send the person back who could possibly tell her mother everything.
Or
even Dane.
Yeah,
Or, any
or-
of those things.
close to Dane at all.
Yeah, exactly. Xaden basically interrupts this discussion that's kind of going back and forth about sending them back or not. And he's like, it has nothing to do with you guys, basically. We can take your advice, but we're the ones who are going to decide. It's our fate,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like how she's the girl Suri is like, we can't afford to risk your life. And he says, my life is equal to any of theirs.
I know.
What a good leader.
What a good leader.
He's great.
Gosh.
And that's when Brennan suddenly meets her gaze. And then
Yeah.
goes like, oh, she's here.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And then they all look at her. And then Suri then says, not every life, looking straight at her. Oh.
I mean, she's not wrong, because to Xaden, her life is even more.
That's right.
It's definitely not equal to his, in his mind, because he did just risk everyone to save her.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But yeah, that was, oof.
Well, they blow up. They're like, oh my gosh, why are they here listening? And it's like, well, goddamn, shut the freaking door if you didn't want anybody to hear.
Yeah, and they said
also
earlier that it's an open door. Yeah, it's an open meeting.
Yeah. And then there's this line from Imogen where she says, Xaden has already taken responsibility for her, right?
Right.
And then she says, as brutal of a custom as it may be. And Violet's like, what?
Yes. So, first of all, Imogen defending Violet and, like, they're just starting to be friends here. And I'm actually kind of excited
They at least
about
don't
it.
hate each other.
Yeah, I'm kind of into it. I'm like, you know what? They should be besties. Because she was nice to her multiple times here.
Yeah, she's
that
nicer.
we kind of skimmed over.
Yeah.
And then also I was like, okay, so that obviously means he has put another scar in his back for Violet. I mean, that's what I took out of this. But that means that this is like their custom? Like this is a Tyrish thing? Or Xaden's family's thing? Or I'm just misinterpreting this wrong.
I thought we were told this already.
No.
Okay.
All we were told is that it happened. And I still was
When
thinking...
he first brought up, he didn't say what kind of custom it was.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, definitely not. I really don't think so, because the first time it was mentioned, or like when he told her about it, I was still thinking that Lilith was involved in this, and this is why he really hates her so much. But this kind of makes it clear that no, she's not involved in this. This is like a separate thing, because obviously he's not gonna like go to Lilith and be like, we gotta add another scar for your daughter. Like.
I have nothing I can say to
Yeah.
you at all.
Anyway, so this was news to me.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in this.
And then someone's like, I don't understand that particular decision. And he's like, the decision was simple. She's worth a dozen of me.
See? Boom. Right there.
Yeah,
He just said
He said it.
He
And
said
I'm
it.
not talking about her signet. I would have told her everything discussed here anyway, so an open door is a moot point.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, maybe he's done keeping secrets from me.
Yeah, I'm like, obviously, Violet. God.
All right. And then, okay, yeah, so then they're going to go over, oh, she's General Sorrengail's daughter. And then Bren's like, hello, I'm General Sorrengail's son. And they're like, you've proven your loyalty. And it's like, hello.
So did
was she. Not just
She
fighting?
just, like-
almost died? Like, literally.
She could have just left. She could have just flown away.
Totally. She literally did almost, like, 100% almost die.
Yeah, she
for
did
their
almost just.
cause.
That's an insane thing to say.
They're just being emotional.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, they say, Bodhi says, like, she fought at our side and all that. But Suri's like, she should be confined. She could ruin everything. It's, like, she's too dangerous. We should keep her as a prisoner. All this stuff is going on. And, of course, Xaden's not going to do that.
No. Xaden would break her right out of that.
Brennan says, knowing that she's bonded to Taryn, whose bonds get deeper with each rider, so strong that Nolan's death nearly killed him, knowing we fear he'll die if she does, and that Ryerson's life is tied to hers. And he's like giving this as an argument, and she's like a little like, what? Is that all I am to him?
Xaden's weakness?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dumb. Like, obviously he's just saying whatever he thinks will work. Like, I read this
They're
more
going
as
to hear
him...
him more. They're going to hear his logic more than they're going to hear his emotional. Like,
Yes.
that's my sister.
He's just saying what will actually get through to them. Like, this seems more desperate to me, of, like, desperately trying to think of something that they'll care about, than him being like, oh, no, that's all I care about. And
Yeah.
Xaden's, whatever, it's fine.
She's sensitive. Xaden starts talking about how he's responsible for Violet, and then also she's had 2 bonded dragons, and so that should be enough. And then she's like, enough is enough. And she steps forward and she's like, I'm standing right here, basically.
Yeah, stop talking about me like I'm not
talking
here.
about me. And I like how Xaden's like, smiles.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you want from me? You want me to walk the parapet and prove my bravery? Done. You want me to betray my kingdom by defending Paromish citizens? Done. Want me to keep his secrets? Done. I kept every secret. And they're like, except for the one that mattered.
Yeah, but it's not like she blabbed.
She did not.
So...
But they do bring up a good point. She does need to have... I mean, this is brought up throughout these next 2 chapters. The next chapter, I mean.
Yeah.
She does need to learn how to shield, right?
Yeah, they should have been working on that, like, really good shields from the beginning.
Before he even thought about telling her anything, he could have started teaching her how to shield away thoughts.
Yeah.
For sure. He could have been working on it. You're right. Although, I don't know. I mean, I guess they had a year together, but there's so much going on. From the time that they started to really work together, it was not that long. A few months.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever. It didn't happen. So they're kind of like, okay, we're done here. That's it, right?
Yeah.
And then Brennan says, I'll expect an update on Zola in the morning. Consider this meeting adjourned.
Yeah. I was like, okay, what is Zola? I didn't know what was happening at Zola.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is that? What's happening there?
Because this is before you find out that Cliffsbane is, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then we find out. So then it kind of makes sense, but also not really. We don't really know still what the update would be.
Yeah, exactly. They all leave. Xaden says, meet us in the valley. And then she stays and talks to Brennan.
Yeah. Xaden says, go talk to your brother. Like, well, we're not leaving without you. Like, don't worry.
Yeah, and don't worry what the assembly says. We're making the decision together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So that's end of chapter 1. We're on chapter 2. It starts out with the blurb on the top. It is the valley above Ryerson House, heated by natural thermal energy, that is the greatest asset. For there lie the original hatching grounds of the something line. It's a I'm not going to try that one. From which 2 of the greatest dragons of our time, Coda and Taryn, descend. And that's from Colonel Carey, the professor that's in, teaches them all about dragons.
Yeah. So first of all, I didn't realize that Coda and Taryn were distant cousins or whatever.
Descend from the same line, yeah. I'm very confused about how the dragons work with their colors. Because, like, later on, we're talking about colors. I'm so confused. Because these are 2 black dragons. So you're like, oh, the black dragon, they come from the same line. But then the way he talks about it, it's like, man, we don't know. There's an egg, and they come out, and they're a certain color, and then they're a certain tail. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes it seem like it's, like, personality and choice-based.
But then, does that mean that, like, so if maybe a black and a blue dragon have a baby, they might be a red dragon?
Apparently. It could be anything, I guess. A club tail, even though they're both dagger tails.
Oh, no. Wow.
Or Taryn's lying, and this really is his child.
Right. I mean, this is the Empyrean series, and there's so much about the Empyrean we don't know because we're not supposed to know because we're humans and they keep so many secrets. So it's just, the question is, how much are we going to find out, right?
Yeah, you should get a whole book from Taryn's point of view.
That'd be great. Just be sarcasm, pure sarcasm the whole time.
Okay, fine, in Darna's point of view.
I don't know. She's pretty sassy too. So it's just Brennan and her, and now they're actually going to talk because she's been fed, I guess? I don't know. They could have talked all this time, but whatever. So now she's going to ask him questions. He's like apologizes for letting her believe he was dead, and he says it's the only way. And she's like, what am I supposed to say to that? In her head, she's like, am I supposed to say it's all right because it's not?
Yeah.
It's like, how do you handle that? But she points out, like, she was 14 when he left, and he says he expected her to be in scribe colors, but that she looks good in black.
Yeah.
He was very relieved when she survived threshing, and she's like, you knew? And realizes obviously he has sources.
Maybe he even was talking to Xaden.
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we know that Xaden and Bodhi and Garrett Gareth? Oh my gosh, I just went blank on his name. Went out that one time and went to ask the Bane, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry. My pronunciation is just dead today. Anyway, so who knows?
It's one thing to hate Lilith, because Brennan doesn't seem to like her either. But for Xaden to plan on killing Violet after slowly destroying her, or whatever, knowing that this is Brennan's sister, that Brennan loves, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, if he ever really planned that. It's so unclear.
No, but it's not that unclear, because he says when he changed his mind.
Or when he decided for sure. I always got the idea that he was like, just not sure what to do with her in the beginning.
I don't know.
He's very happy she made it through her first year. They talk about how Mira gave her the armor and also gave her his book and that it really helped. And he was like, that's great. He asked how Mira was. And then she's like, well, speaking from experience, I'm sure she'd be a lot better if she knew you were alive. And he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Guess I deserve that. And she's like, how exactly are you alive? And then where is Marb? Marb? It's Marbh. No clue how to pronounce a BH. But that's his dragon. So she's like, what the heck, basically. He's like, okay, one at a time, I'll tell you. And then she sees a rune-shaped scar on his palm.
Yeah, and I was like, what is that all about?
And what rune is it shaped as?
And what rune is it shaped as? These runes are really, I'm like, I want to know so much more about them.
Yeah.
Because I just know how runes work in other fantasies, you know?
Right. Yeah, what are these? Yeah, it's fascinating that they say that and that's it, right? So she's like mentioning, okay, so Neolens was the one who was the siphon who died trying to save you, at least according to Professor Carey. And then he's like, Neolin didn't fail, but it cost him everything. I woke up on a cliffside not far from here. His dragon had been wounded. And then there were other dragons here. And they saved us and hid us in this network of caves. And then later with the civilians who survived the city being scorched. Because remember, it mentions that some fled and they survived.
And the final battle was the Battle of Aricia.
So fascinating that they saved this person who was fighting, apparently, like we don't know exactly what happened up to this point. At what point did he turn? Because they saved him.
The dragons can talk to each other, so if his dragon...
You're right. Yes, good point. But we also don't know if he changed his mind after being saved and spoke to them, or if he had changed his mind earlier. It's just hard to say. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
So, we did hear something like about how it was Xaden's dad, Fen, that killed him. No? He had some comment like that. Does that mean because of the revolution, or he killed him directly? Like, it's was that clear?
I guess he must have... No, it seemed like...
It was like he killed him.
Yeah.
Who's reporting this, too?
He could have just dealt the blow that had to get reversed by Neolin.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess he could have bombed something. I don't know. You know, it's like hard to say like what happened. It's still not really answered here, but he does say that Neolin did save him, but it cost him everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, did we know that Neolin was a siphon? And do we know what a siphon is?
It's hard when I sit here after having read the books 3 times and being on my 4th reread that, like, was it mentioned before? Or do I just know that data already?
I feel like it wasn't. I feel like they just said that he exerted himself too much.
Trying to save him, but not why.
No, it didn't say the word siphon.
I thought it did.
It didn't say the word siphon, but it said that he could, like, amplify other people's powers.
So just described it.
Yeah. So that means he could amplify Neolin's mending gift, and then he could mend himself.
Yeah, it'd be whatever they said earlier. Now we know the name of the signet. It's called the siphon.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Brennan clarifies the reason why he's here is because he can't just stay safe behind barriers after he figured out what's going on, right? He can't just watch innocent people die because the leadership is too selfish to help. And that's why he didn't come home. He just knew he couldn't do that. And he couldn't look in his mother's eye knowing that she's known this whole time.
Yeah, which is so fair.
Yeah. So she's like, you just left Mira and me to live it. And he's like, it's a choice I've questioned every single day. And then they bring up Dad. How, like, you know, he's like, you had Dad. But she's like, yeah, until we didn't, you know.
Yeah, because of his death.
Yeah. They mention a little bit about Venin and then the Wyvern. So his group has known about it for a few months. But they haven't been letting, like, the other guys know everything. There was, like, a kind of a need to know for their own safety, right?
Yeah,
so that's why they didn't...
in the house of the enemy, basically.
Yeah, that's why they didn't know about the Wyvern. which was probably a mistake, but that's fine. And so they're like, now this is where she knows more than him. And she's like, so where are they making them? And he's like, you mean breeding them? And she's like, no, making them. Don't you remember the fables?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm surprised that he's like, wait, you remember all that? I'm like, this is the girl who recites
everything?
everything, knows the name of every Navarre royalty or whatever. No, lords or whatever they're.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, man, that would have been nice if they had Violet before in this revolution, because she knows so much, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
She's looking at this map that is like showing like so the red ones are ones that have been attacked before, and the orange ones are like the ones more recently been attacked. Sounded like that's what they were saying.
Yeah. Like
last few months. And she's saying the orange flags are awfully close to Zola, the second most populous city in Breivik, and where Cliffsbane, their flyer academy, is located. So that's where you first find out about that.
Yeah. Somewhere here is also where we find out, or Brennan finds out, that it seems that the Venin are also starting to teach each other and maybe have a school of their own or something.
Oh, yeah, that happens a little bit later. But yeah, they're talking now about like, is it 1 year do we have left? But he says, no, I think it's 6 months. And he's apparently really, really good at it. He's a brilliant strategist, according to her mom. And so she's like, believes him. So 6 months is a short period of time.
Because this book is probably a year long. We're going to get into some stuff.
What is happening, right?
Yep.
He also mentions that the iron box that Garrick Tavis found at Reston is some kind of lure. So that answers your question, why they were trying to get this box. And also, if it's a lure, someone put it there to lure the Venin, right?
Yeah, their timing is still crazy, but we do get like a solid answer.
At least that someone got them there, but how they got that timing, I don't know. Not sure. It does say that they had to destroy it before they could really look into it.
Yeah, so
they didn't want to lure it to. I guess they didn't want to like take it and bring it into their space or anything.
I know, and my immediate thought was, aren't you guys protected by the wards? No.
No, they are not within the wards.
What the heck?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They are, it's mentioned here, right, that they're protected from at least the griffins, if that was a problem, because the cliffs are so high, the griffins can't fly in that atmosphere. But that's
so
not really
when that was like the only threat that Violet knew about,
it didn't seem like a big deal.
Yeah, but now it's like, oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
It also makes more sense why the revolution started there, because they're like, hey, we're exposed to this thing. And leadership is like, what thing?
Yeah. Who's talking about a thing? There's no thing. What are you talking about? Right. She's like surprised. She's like, you think they're going to come for Navarre before taking the rest of Peromiel? And he's like, yeah, their survival depends on it as much as ours depends on stopping them. The energy is in the hatching grounds at Basgiath. Like, that's where they could be fed for decades. They want to get to that.
Yeah. It's just so confusing because I thought that the wards were powered by dragon and humans bonding, not by a luminary.
Right? No. I believe, if we understand correctly, the wards are from that, but the extending of the wards is from these things that they're making in the luminary. That is helping to extend them out farther from, like, the hatching grounds have that wards.
I don't know if this is, like, either clearly what's going to happen or something that's so obvious that, like, it's not going to happen. But it seems like the answer to their problem is, hey, have dragons breed back at this place again.
Right.
Power 2 wards.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like,
maybe have 4 different breeding grounds.
Making something that's like, oh, well, that doesn't work because of blah. But it just seems like the obvious answer to this problem.
Now, is it the obvious answer from this revolution standpoint or from Navarre's? Like, who do you think it should be?
From both. Like, don't they want to be protected? They can still fight the good fight, but also be protected.
Yeah, well, Melgren thinks their wards are infallible. It says right here, they don't want to alert the population. They're not interested in, for whatever reason, leadership is not interested in trying anything else. They're just, we're fine in this area. That's all we're going to do.
I'm saying, like, could they stop Sigale and they cannot control dragons, and they know this.
Yeah. So
if
why
Sigale
aren't the
and
dragons?
Terran are just like, hey, we're going to breed here.
No clue. I can tell you what the dragons are thinking.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, they couldn't stop them. Leadership couldn't be like, you're not allowed to. Like, good luck with that.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know.
Also, like, what do their dragons think? Like, it's just so interesting. I get that they all have different personalities, but, like, what is, like, Melgren's dragon's personality?
Yeah.
Like,
all I can tell you is that
egg.
all I can tell you is that we're through 3 books, and Rebecca has said that there is so much about the Empyrean we do not know at all. So I am in a loss at what the dragons are thinking too.
Yeah. I just have to assume they're like humans. They all have, I mean, we know they all have their own personalities, but it's like some maybe truly believe that what they're doing is right. Some might not care if what they're doing is right. And some might, notice what is wrong and want to help. And so they bond with those types of people.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah. So then he's mentioning here how Melgren doesn't want to let the population know. He's afraid that telling people will make them realize we aren't entirely good guys, and that Fenn's rebellion taught leadership that it's a lot easier to control happy civilians than the terrified or disgruntled ones. So it's better just to keep them in the not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somehow they've managed to keep this truth hidden, which is just amazing.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it can't stay hidden forever, and that's what just makes no sense about their plan.
Yeah.
If they really think they can hide it forever, fine, I understand in a way, but it's like,
Well,
they're gonna start attacking closer and closer, and eventually someone's gonna see, like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And they're also looking away while people are dying.
Yeah, I know that's bad, but, like, it's not their people. Like, besides, I'm not, like, really trying to defend them, like, and I know it's bad.
Yeah.
But I can see what their thought process would be if they really thought they would never be in danger.
Yeah.
But they can't, that's not how it works. Like, eventually they're gonna come to your doorstep. So what's your plan then?
Yeah, I
They
don't
don't
know.
have a backup plan. They're dumb. They're dumb and mean.
Yeah,
Better to just be mean.
She's thinking about how it's just one generation of Navarians that wiped out the history books and the existence of Venin from common education and knowledge, just because we're not willing to risk our own safety by providing the one material that can kill dark wielders, the same alloy that powers the farthest reaches of our wards.
Right.
So that's explaining that this
Luminary
alloy
makes this alloy.
Yeah. And it powers
Also makes the weapons.
Right. Exactly. And it helps make those wards reach out as far as they can, at least, that they can go.
Yeah.
Brennan says, Dad always tried to tell us that in the world of dragon riders, griffin flyers, and dark wielders, and then she finishes, it's the scribes who hold all the power.
Yeah.
And she's wondering, does Dad know? And he says, I choose to believe he didn't.
Because then he would know and not be doing anything.
Yeah. If he didn't, though, it just makes you wonder why he was leaving that note. Just, was he suspecting things? When he left that note to her in the book? I don't know.
Maybe he was already damaged by the grief of losing his son. And then he starts piecing this together. And, I mean, maybe the combo is what killed him. Like, maybe he found out, but only right before he died.
Right.
That could be the answer.
There is some fandom people wondering, did someone kill him?
Yeah. I mean, I think that was my if Lilith is truly evil theory. If that one's the right one, as opposed to my completely opposite theory. Well, actually, no, it's not completely opposite. It's just that she's
A different way of doing...
Yeah,
It's kind
will
of
not
opposite.
put herself at risk fully, but is willing to do some things about
Yeah.
it. But anyways, that what if she killed him because he found out and then was like, oh my gosh, Lilith,
Right.
we
and
should
if
do
not
something
her,
about
what
this.
if...
And she's like, great idea.
Yeah.
Have some lemonade.
Goodbye. Yeah, if not her, if someone from leadership did something, who knows, right? Anyways,
Yeah.
Violet points out here that as these forces come closer to the border, word's gonna get out. They're not gonna be able to keep it hidden, right? Someone's gonna see something.
Yeah.
I mean, already we had that thing where Mira saw some dragons, which were wyvern,
Yeah.
And then Brennan says, yes, our revolution has to be ready when they do. The second the secret is out, there's no reason to keep the marked ones under supervision of leadership, and we'll lose access to Basgiath's forge.
I didn't understand what this meant, really.
So there's no reason to keep the marked ones under supervision of... Okay, so if this secret's out, so that means if everybody knows what's happening with the Venin, or if it's out that they know, what part of the secret?
I don't know.
There's no reason to keep the marked ones under supervision of leadership.
Is he saying that they're going to get kicked out of Basgiath?
Maybe that's what he's saying.
But that doesn't make any sense. You've already passed. You have you can't just leave with a dragon and not fully trained.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you. Well, anyways, we're not entirely sure what they mean, but we'll keep going.
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one who was confused by that.
Yeah, I also have never really thought of that line before. I kind of have just passed by it without even considering it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
If someone has some smart answers, please. You know what we need is an email address for this podcast. But whatever. Get on Instagram and send me a message.
Yeah, you can always DM.
Exactly. Brennan and Violet continued to talk, and then she mentions the sage, right?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh God, they're teaching each other.
Right. And I don't know. I mean, a sage doesn't particularly mean that. A sage is like a wise person, but that's what she's assuming, right?
Yeah.
So that's what she got from whatever the encounter she had, you know?
I think she's right.
Right. She's mentioning, like, he's not behind the wards, and she thinks about how, like, the protective magical shield provided by the dragon's hatching grounds in the Vale, right? The one back in where Basgiath is.
Yeah.
Falls short of the official mountainous borders of Navarre, and the entire southwestern coastline of Tirandor, including Aricia, is exposed.
Yeah.
So...
This is when we first find this out.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Right.
So, but also, I was like, that means that the magic is wilder.
Yeah.
Out here in Tirandor as well. Because, okay, I'm just saying that this ties into my theory that, like, maybe these people could wield...
Which people?
The people of Tirandor.
Okay.
The rebellion guys could wield another way. Which would make sense how Liam already knew how to do this ice spike thing. Because I just couldn't wrap my mind around how that would be possible. Because it's like, well, I thought that the wards make it so you can only wield through a dragon. That's what they keep on saying. But now all of a sudden we find out, well, all of Tirandor isn't behind the wards. So there's actually nothing stopping them from learning how to wield a different way. But also, it probably can't be the way that Venin do it. Because then they turn into Venin. So then it's like, I don't know.
Interesting, yeah. Okay.
But like, you know that feeling she described when she left the wards for the first time?
Right, like this feeling of suddenly magic being wilder or whatever she said. Yeah.
So that means that's happening here.
Yes.
It's just very interesting.
Yeah. And also, we find out that there is a second ward stone. Like, he mentions that they have a dormant ward stone. Oh, they think that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
He says he never saw the one in Basgiath, but they're pretty sure it's that.
Yeah.
And this is new news to her because as far as she knows, and when she knows whatever's in the history books, is there was only one created during unification.
Yes.
So, but, you know, they're like, well, we also thought Venom was a myth and, you know, whatever. So obviously all the data isn't correct. But she's definitely very interested in this ward stone. She's like, her thoughts are spinning. She's like, okay, if they had the wards, if they could get the ward stone going and they had the wards, they could generate their own protection, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe using the same idea that Basgiath did, like from there out into all the other areas, they like weave extensions into it to drag, however you say it, the borders of the protection out farther, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's really thinking about this. You know how Violet is. And, but Brennan he's not thinking this is like all that important. Helpful, yeah. He's like, what they're all completely concentrating on is they need the luminary. And they explain what it does here. Is this the first time they explain what it does? The luminary intensifies dragonfire. I guess they needed a dragon for the luminary then. Dragonfire hot enough to smelt alloy into the weapons capable of defeating the Venin.
Okay, so they did explain what it did.
But just right here, yeah.
Okay.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although we're only second chapter, and so I guess it's not that far. But she's still thinking word stones. She's like, what if it's not useful? Just because no one knows how to create them, like, doesn't mean the information is lost. Like, why would they actually lose that information? That's kind of what she's saying.
Right. And this makes me think we're going to have, like, an archives heist, which is something I predicted in book 1, where I'm like, they're going to totally have to break into the archives.
Right.
And, like, steal information. And Rhiannon will be so useful for that if she can, like, teleport things through walls, finally. Maybe Rhiannon will be part of it. Maybe she'll be a part of it. Maybe she won't be. But still, I'm like, oh, is this it?
I like it.
Happening?
Nice. And then Brennan is like, nah, don't think that. Don't do that. The archives is enemy territory. Weapons are the only things that can win this war.
Yeah, the second he said don't do it and weapons are the only thing that can win this war, I'm like, she better do it. Like, you're talking to someone who wanted to be a scribe. That's clearly not true. Do you know why this whole thing's happening? Because of the scribes.
Right. And is knowledge not power?
Right. Knowledge can be a weapon in itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like I said, she's on this idea, you know? And she's like, you think you're going to win this war with a bunch of daggers? Anyways, they're like kind of going back and forth here. But he's like, we're not attacking Navarre. You
you don't need to
searching
attack.
for a weapon. Something killed the Venom 600 years ago, right?
Right.
It's been 600 years, buddy. Anyways, it's been
Yeah,
a while.
I wonder if the information on what killed them is also in the archives.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
You're not thinking this through, Brennan.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they're saying, like, so forging these weapons is just enough to keep them going, but that doesn't sound like an end-all at all in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
That's what she's saying.
It sounds like they still need more.
Right. She's like, with what army? Which I swear that's a line from something else.
I think everyone says that.
That's a line from everything.
You and what army?
You and what army, exactly. He's not telling her everything. He's like, I already put you in too much danger by telling you this. And there is a certain point to that for sure.
Yeah.
She says he sounds like Xaden, but okay. She thinks about Xaden here, and she says, she thinks to herself, turns out falling in love with someone only brings that blissful high all the poets talk about if they love you back.
I was literally like, please be quiet.
Right? She's also thinking, if they keep secrets that jeopardize everyone and everything you hold dear. So she's thinking about him, keeping secrets that jeopardize.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't totally get her. I kind of, but I don't really.
Projecting.
Okay, yeah.
Xaden's stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, so she's being miserable right now to us and to herself. So she feels something. She realizes Tarn's power is rising within her because of these heightened emotions and stuff. And she's happy that she has access to it. She wasn't sure what the Venom's poison was going to do to her.
Yeah.
And then Brennan sort of picks up something's going on with them. And he's like, trouble in paradise? And she's like, it's best if you don't know that. Because he had told her that,
Yeah.
similar wording.
That's pretty funny.
She's like, you've been in my life for all 5 minutes after faking your death for like 6 years. So excuse me if I'm not going to open up about my love life. Which I thought was funny. And then she asked, are you married? Kids? Anything you basically lied to? Anyone you've basically lied to for the entirety of your relationship?
Yeah.
He's like, no partner, no kids, point made. I don't mean to be an ass, but details aren't anything you should know until you can master keeping your shields. Again, totally correct.
Yeah, probably fair.
Yeah.
Considering it is her fault that they got in this situation in the first place.
I mean, it is. And not
her fault.
Really her fault.
It's Xaden's fault, too. He should have taught her how to shield. And Dane is the worst.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say it's her fault, but it is because of that scenario.
If she thought about it that way, obvious why they're keeping things from her.
Right, yeah, I know.
But she does think about it that way. Or she did at the time. She was like, oh, and I led them all here to their deaths.
Again, very, very highly emotional way of looking at it still.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's like, okay, we got to go back to Taryn, and he's like, I know. And then Brennan's like, I don't really think you should go back. That's not the best plan for you. Because what are they going to say? What's going to happen? Who knows what will happen when they get there? She's like, no, it's the best plan for you. And that ends their conversation.
Yep.
So now they all head out to where the dragons are. And it's Brennan with his orange dagger tail Marb. Just going to say that. Mm-hmm. Taryn and Violet. And they reach Sigale. Is there Xaden there too? No, but Indarna's there. And here Sigale doesn't like Brennan. Do you notice that?
Yep.
She's like something about him. We do know that she kind of almost lost Taryn because Taryn's rider tried to saved Brennan. Sorry. Sorry. And died. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe she's whatever. I don't know.
That is probably why.
Yeah. I like how Violet's like, don't take it personal. She doesn't like anyone but Xaden, and she only tolerates me, although I'm growing on her. And then Sigale says, like a tumor.
So funny.
Sassy.
So funny.
I love it. And then she feels Xaden coming, because she can, feel him. But she then sees Indarna, and then is like, what the fuck?
I know. And I was like, okay, wait, before the page reveals to me, I wanted to make a guess. Mm-hmm. I was wrong. Okay. But I guessed a red club tail. That was my guess. But she's not even done.
No, she's still adolescent.
Yeah. But anyways, no, she's not.
Yeah, no. She's twice the size than she had been 4 days ago. Or, sorry, a few days ago. Wait, what does it say? So it says she's twice the size. Oh, and her scales are black.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what it says.
And I was like, wow, so she has 2 black dragons now. Still don't understand how they're going to explain this.
Right? Totally know that confusion. I was so nervous about that. I was like, how are they even ever expecting to keep a secret that big? Like, it never made sense to me. No. I mean, you'll see what happens, but obviously.
Yeah, I don't. They're like, oh, well, we were gone for a bit, and the Venom attacked Indarna, and then that made her change. Obviously, we all know that that's how Venom work. mean, what are they going to say?
Sure, I like
could
that.
be.
That would have been the best answer. Also, we find out the dragons are only gold feathered as hatchlings.
Which I thought
we kind of knew
we
that.
basically knew that.
Well, we
because,
know
like, there
that-
was no other ones ever
Yeah.
that color.
Yeah.
And then this one is tiny and gold.
Yeah, so that wasn't like new news particularly. But
Yeah.
then it's the Violet is like, so the energy usage, it was like so much basically, like in Reston, she used so much for so long that it like forced accelerated growth.
Yeah, which, sure, like, that kind of doesn't make sense, but okay. Like, I feel like that was just words said. You know what I mean? It was like,
I think it's an excuse
what?
to make this happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, she used up so much energy, so that made her grow. Okay. I don't know.
But that is the reason, Brianna.
That's
it
the
says
reason.
so right here.
Yeah.
Although the other thing that's kind of interesting is this is Violet actually making a supposition. Does Taryn even say it's true? Hold on, let me look.
Well, they said it happened quicker than it was supposed to. They all
It would
say
have happened
that.
eventually if at a slower pace. So again, he's not actually saying that you're right. This is how it happened. For
Yeah.
all we know, they keep so many secrets. It's hard to say. But we find out she's an adolescent here, which basically means she's like, I don't know, a preteen.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, Teen and Darna, I'm so excited.
Oh yes, my favorite in Darna. And he even says, I should warn you before she wakes up that this is a notoriously perilous age. And she's like, what, she's in danger? And he's like, no, everybody around here is. That's why they don't bond. They don't have patience for humans or elders or logic.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so like definitely.
I mean, I could say that about almost every teenager. No patience
Yeah.
for humans or their
elders
elders or
or
logic.
logic.
I think that's a pretty good
no patience
summation.
for logic is so funny.
I know. And she says that. She says the same as humans, but he says, yeah, except for with teeth and eventually
Yeah.
fire. Eventually fire, so that means at some point she'll have fire.
Yeah, which means I guess she still doesn't right now.
Yeah.
But she now does have claws finally.
That's right. And her scales are so deeply black that they glimmer almost purple.
Which is pretty sick.
I love it in the sunlight. I want that.
Yeah.
And then but see, look at this. The color of a dragon's scales are hereditary. I'm so confused. I swear earlier it was like, oh, whatever. They just pick something. It's just the tail.
I guess that's just about the tail.
But then who are you getting it from? Your mom or your dad? Or does it matter? It's just like us with our genes.
That's a really good question. Okay, so okay. Yeah, this is so weird. So her color does come from her parents. Her tail is just vibes.
I know, right? It is weird. And I thought earlier they said something about the color, didn't it? I don't know. But listen, she's like, it's yours. And he's like, oh my goodness, it's
For the
not.
last
I
time,
told you
no.
guys. And then he says, black dragons are rare, but not unheard of. And then she's like, well, and I just happened to bond to 2 of them, right? So anyways, so whatever. She thinks it's weird. And he says in here that only the eldest of our dens can sense a hatchling's pigment.
Right. What?
What?
Okay, just some random lore, I
And then it
guess.
said there's been 2 more black dragons that hatched in the last year, which I think is rare. But still, and it says that she didn't even know the color of her scales. So hold on a second. Okay, so let's say you got a blue and a green, right?
She doesn't really know her parents.
She doesn't, yeah. Okay, but let's say you have a blue and a green, and they make a baby, and then an egg comes out. They must know that's their egg, right? So maybe they don't know what pigment because they don't know if it's going to be blue or green. But if it's 2 blues, they should know it's going to be blue.
Yeah, but I think
Unless one of the blues had like a red and a blue.
I think it's like the difference between being like, okay, me and my husband have brown hair, our baby using logic is gonna have brown hair. But that's different than like an elder being like, I can magically sense the exact shade of his hair.
He says, tails are a matter of choice and need. Don't they teach you anything? And she's like,
Oh.
you're not exactly a notoriously open species.
Oh, yeah.
And then she thinks, I'm sure Professor Carey would salivate over knowing something like that.
You're right.
Why
It
doesn't she
was-
tell him?
Okay, that was my note.
Okay.
So it was about the dragon tail thing.
Yeah.
I love that. Don't they teach you anything? And it's like, well, we literally don't know that. Like, what are you
Never-
talking about?
But the way he says it there, I feel like she could then tell him after he says that.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, couldn't you just tell him?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, why are they so weird about this?
I don't know.
And
I don't
why
know.
doesn't Kaori's dragon
Tell him
tell him
anything.
more things?
What is... Gosh.
Like, it just... it's
Maybe
fine.
his dragon is like worse than Terran's. Like, you don't need to know that. Nope, you don't need to know that either.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird. Okay, anyways.
I don't know, but here comes Aiden. He's there. Imogen, Garrick, Bodhi, and the others, those other people. And oh yeah, and she thinks about the fact that, like, I went to war with these guys and I don't know their name.
I don't know how.
And I love how conveniently, though, in this conversation, they all just say each other's names except for that last one for the first time ever. But anyways, or maybe she's just paying attention finally. It could be that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Anyways, so she's like, we have to go back. I don't care what the assembly says. If we don't go back, they'll kill every cadet with a rebellion relic. And then Xaden nods, and Brennan's like, they'll see right through whatever lie you're going to tell. They'll execute you. General Sorrengail already knows you're missing. But she's like, I don't know. I don't think she knew, Well, she says, our mother won't let them kill me. And Brennan's like, say that again. This time try to convince yourself that you mean it. The general's loyalties are so crystal fucking clear that she might as well tattoo, yes, they're a venom. Now go back to class on her forehead. But she's like, no, you don't understand. You didn't see her, how devastated she was when she lost you. Like, basically, she does feel there's a certain protection from her mom. That's how she feels.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't bet my life on it. You know what I mean? Like, you can have a theory, but you're betting your actual life on this.
Yeah. But anyways, that's how she feels. And then this other guy.
She seem to hate Violet, like, specifically. Like, she already sent you to your death in the Rider Squadron, basically, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. I need to know so much more about Lilith.
I know. I understand. So then this other guy pops in like she wasn't there. Like, basically when the orders were given, she wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
And this guy is Kieran. I believe the C is actually a hard K sound.
This is the same name we already tried to pronounce a different time. This was the guy that, like, we knew while she was, like, half passed out.
Oh, they mentioned him. Okay.
Asleep.
So she's just now noticing his name.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I was like, oh, this guy's gonna die. But now maybe not. Or maybe definitely. Who knows?
One of the two. And then the other girl is Aya. And she's sort of like, you're defending General Sorrengail? And he's like, no. He's just pointing out that she wasn't there when the orders were handed out. And Eidos was the one who was in charge, right?
Right.
And then, so she's like, okay, good. I know two of their names. So she looks at the other guy and she's like, I'm sorry, but what is your name? Which is like a funny thing to say in the middle of all this conversation. But his name is Mason. So there you go. We know the three guys now. Yep. And he says, I also don't think your mom had anything to do with the war games. So they're like, okay. She's like, I would bet my life that she didn't know what was waiting for us. And then Aya's like, you are willing to bet all of ours too? Looking at Imogen for support, but not getting any because,
yeah. I
mean, of course, Imogen's going to want to go back.
Yeah. But also, I was like, oh, here it comes. Them being best friends.
Besties forever. Garrick says, I vote we go. And then they're like, okay, who agrees? And one by one, every hand rises but Xaden's and Brennan's. And then Xaden's just thinking. And he says, no, Brennan says, the second Atos puts hands on her, we lose Orisha and you lose your lives. And then Xaden says, I'll train her to shut him out. She already has the strongest shields of her year. Because of shutting out Terran, she only has to learn to keep them up at all times. Right. And she's like, yeah, that's the right thing to do. So they're...
But also, like, what if she just says, no, you can't touch me?
Right? This is very simple.
Like, just step back. Boundaries up?
Smack him a couple times.
Tell him we are no longer friends, period. And you know why. Just don't even say more than that. You know exactly what you did, and we're no longer friends. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you to come close to me ever again. Go away.
Yep, exactly. Xaden says here, like, how are you going to do that? He's like, by hitting him in his biggest weakness, his pride. Doesn't explain any more than that. So
maybe that is what they're going to do then. Just be like, hey, we hate you.
Yeah, we'll find out whatever he thinks that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're like, you're sure you want to go? Yes, we want to go. And Darna then decides to wake up at that point, and she's like a newborn horse. She's like wobbling, and she's like trying to stay upright, and they're like, oh my goodness. And Darna feels bad and is like, I can no longer stop time. And she's like, it's okay. Like, you're not disappointed? And she's like, you're alive. You kept us alive. How could I be disappointed? But she's Violet's feeling unuseful, you know?
Yeah,
like she can't do anything.
Like, not at all disappointed. First of all, she never liked using that power anyways. Yeah. Violet didn't, although she did use it a few times, but she never wanted to really use it because she felt bad about using it anyways. And now we're just going to get, eventually, one day, another Signet. You know?
For the second dragon, exactly. So then she can't fly because her other wing won't even extend all the way. So Bodhi's like, oh, we're going to have to make some modifications to that harness. Yeah. She's humongous now. Yeah. That's going to take a few hours. And then I love this little conversation with Terran and Violet. Violet, can you fly her back to the Veil? She's huge. And then Terran, I've killed lesser writers for that kind of insult. I love that.
She says so dramatic.
Then Darna's like, I can fly myself, which obviously you can't.
Yeah, but also she growled at Violet.
Yeah, I just skipped over that because...
Which is just like a new thing.
Yeah, she's just being an adolescent.
I know, but Violet's like, she was like, what was that noise? Oh, that was a growl.
Like, she's like, what did I say to deserve that? Yeah.
It's just kind of funny.
Zane's like, I have a plan. We have to be back in 48 hours for this to work. And a day of that is needed for flight time. So that means like they've got 24 hours to get ready. And then she's like, what's in 48 hours? And he says, graduation.
I know. And I was like...
Yeah, they ended
so
more
much going on.
games and graduating. Oh my goodness. I wonder, I can't remember the next 2 chapters if it jumps right into it and you can't look, but I cannot wait for you to read what their plan is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I haven't had many thoughts.
You've given lots of ideas of possible. Are they going to do this? Or are they going to say that? Are they going to whatever?
It's been like they're either going to tell the complete truth or they're going to tell a complete lie. That's pretty much the only 2 options.
Right. Ooh,
or that's what I think. But maybe there's a third magical option.
I'm so excited for you. But we're excited to be on Iron Flame.
Yes.
So excited.
We also have a review today.
We absolutely do.
Which is a great reminder that if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts, we will read it. If you don't have Apple Podcasts, you can leave a really nice comment on Spotify. And we'll probably read that.
Yeah.
If you could rate us on Spotify and leave a nice comment. But yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. AK gave us a 5-star review. The review is titled Never Want It to End. And it says, the chemistry between these two is unrivaled. They provide a fantastic summary of the chapters in question with hilarious and thoughtful commentary. Dreading the moment I catch up on new episodes.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. I know that feeling, man, when you have a podcast you love and then you finally catch up. And you're just like, really?
Yeah. That's how I felt about this great Harry Potter podcast called Through the Gryffindor.
Oh, yeah.
They have the best Harry Potter podcast, I think, ever.
Anyways, love getting reviews. We love reading what people think. So we really hope more people will write more.
Yes. We also have socials, which is a great way to find out our posting schedule during breaks like this. Although, of course, once you hit this episode, we'll no longer be on a break.
Right.
So hopefully you checked our socials and knew we were coming back. But you can find it at First Swing Pod on Instagram and Threads.
And Threads.
That's it.
And if Brianna remembered to put the Discord channel in the last episode, if you're interested in Discord, listen, we're happy to do it. It's there. Just need to know. People just need to join and start making it fun.
Yeah. I will put it in the description of this episode again. So come chat with us there.
Okay, good. So our next episode, we will be covering chapter 3 and 4 of Iron Flame.
Yay. Join us next time, writers.
Bye.
Bye.